Hello everyone. So basically we're looking at the changes for the CFA level 2 curriculum. So when we're looking at the level 2 curriculum, there are barely any changes. There are very minor changes. Let's just go through it very quickly, and then I'll tell you how to go about with respect to the changes in the curriculum and about the new books, etc. everything. So let's see the curriculum changes. So broadly, when I'm looking at the changes, there are barely any changes done. Not barely any changes, I would say, but the changes are in your favor because we have chapters deleted. So you are going to be quite happy about it. So the new addition is barely 3%. There is just one new chapter, hedge fund strategies, that has been added. So this was basically level 3 curriculum chapter, which has now been shifted to level 2. So CFA level 2 will have hedge fund strategies chapter, which is a new chapter that has been added, shifted basically from level 3 to level 2. Apart from that, there are very minor additions. When we're looking at the changes, there are a few chapters which have some amount of changes over here. We'll discuss that. Barely 2 chapters, and there are a lot of LOSs that have been deleted. We have seen about few chapters being deleted over here. Real estate investment, so we have only one real estate chapter now. When we're looking at private equity investment, that has been deleted. ETF, exchange traded fund, which was actually newly added a couple of years back, that has been deleted, and trading cost and electronic markets has been deleted. So these 4 chapters, when you're preparing for 2024 curriculum, you will ignore these 4 chapters. You're not going to be studying these 4 chapters. Obviously you delete these. I'll discuss the changes, and the new chapter obviously you'll have to prepare. So let's just see this. The changes are very minimal. Actually, if you see, it's more of deletion, because actually, from what I see from the institute's point of view, there have been a few additions over the last few years, but the deletions did not happen. So there is a little bit of streamlining the curriculum that has happened this year, which we have seen in level 1 to quite a good extent, and level 2 to a certain extent, and level 3 again there'll be more changes coming in from 2025 onwards, not 2024. Right. So anyways, all the syllabus for all the 3 levels of 2024 have been released. So this is your summary of changes for level 2 curriculum. So we have 1 chapter added, hedge fund strategies. We have 4 chapters deleted from the curriculum, which you can absolutely ignore now, obviously. And there are 3 chapters which have some minor changes, but more of deletion. So once we've gone through the summary, just a moment, let me just position this. All right, so now we'll just see the subject wise. So quants, we're not having much of changes as such. There are a couple of LOSs that might be a little here and there in terms of the regression part, but it is being mapped. So basically what has happened is they've reworded. So there is a lot of splitting of chapters that has happened. So earlier we had, like, say for example, 1 chapter of multiple regression. Now we've split it into 3 or 4 chapters over here, but the LOS mapping is working. I'll just show you that. So for example, when I'm looking at the multiple regression chapter, so if you see now, the first chapter has 3 LOSs or 3 parts of chapter 1. The second chapter again is mapped to the chapter 1 of last year. The third chapter is again mapped to the last year's chapter 1, first chapter, and the fourth chapter is also mapped to the last year's first chapter. So basically the first chapter of last year, that is multiple regression, it was quite a lengthy chapter. You can see with the number of LOSs over here, that has been split into 4 chapters. So I would not call it an exact change over here, because ultimately the curriculum is more or less the same. So that way it will not be a problem. It is only chapter 1 that it has been mapped against, right? So this is your quants chapter 1. So your chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 is basically chapter 1 of 2023. Or 2022 also I've mapped, just in case somebody is using an even older version of the textbook and all. That's why I've mapped it over here. But your first chapter of level of 2023 has been split into 4 chapters in 2024. A detailed by LOS breakup is there. It's provided. So don't worry, we'll come to that. When we're looking at economics, again, we do not see any change as such. When we are looking at the financial statement analysis, major deletion from this pension chapter. This used to be quite a difficult chapter. I mean, at least students would find it quite difficult, but 6 LOSs have been deleted. This has been shortened, and I think the changes also they've made is going to be quite interesting. It's going to be good. Financial statement modeling, again, this chapter was renamed last year actually, and now they have deleted just 1 LOS. The LOS will be mentioned below. So when you're studying, you can ignore the LOS. I'll also talk about the changes about the 2024 lectures and all. I'll brief you that at the end. But let's just complete and understand the syllabus first. Corporate issuers is the same. And in fact, there was a lot of changes in corporate issuers when you're looking at the level 1 curriculum. Level 2 does not have any changes as such. Corporate restructuring was already introduced in 2023. So this year there is no changes over here. There are 3 LOSs deleted when we're looking at the private company valuation over here. So there is a bit of deletion over here. Fixed income, no change. When we're looking at even Derivatives, there is no change as such. When we're looking at alternate investment, there is again real estate, some LOS has been changed and all, and hedge fund strategies has been added as I mentioned. Level 3 hedge fund chapter shifted to level 2 this year. Portfolio is more or less the same apart from the deletion part. So you've got the trading cost chapter deleted, and we've got alternate investment, real estate, only one chapter remains, right? And your private equity investment, that has been deleted this year, because private equity actually they are going to be doing in more detail in level 3. So in the 2025 specialized pathway. So I'm just giving you an idea if you want to know about how probably the institute is looking at the curriculum. Now what happens is, for every chapter what we've done is you've got the LOS wise breakup. So this is 2024 chapter number 1, and these are the 3 LOSs of 2024 chapter number 1. Now this LOS 1A of 2024 corresponds to 1A of 2023, and so on and so forth. So this chapter 2 actually is again a part of chapter 1. So the previous year chapter 1 is now broken into chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is how you will see this. So this entire outline will be provided to you. This file is downloadable so that you know exactly what the changes are. Now with respect to the difficulty level, it has obviously reduced, because there is a little bit of deletion over here. Not that very complicated chapter has been deleted as such, but mainly if I see the deletion that is going to make your curriculum easier is going to be this employee compensation FRA chapter. So there are a lot of deletions over here in the chapter. This is going to be something that you will this is going to be something that you'll find it easier. Otherwise, hedge fund strategies are fairly average difficulty level chapter. So there is in fact, I would say that your syllabus has become a little easier compared to the last year. So that is all with regards to difficulty. With respect to the books, if you're already using 2023 books, it will not be a problem. You can continue using that, and you can obviously take a printout or something of the new chapters. Once the lectures, hedge fund strategies, and the new LOSs that have been added, if there is any changes also, because in certain places, if there is any change in content or anything, once the books are released, you will get all of that on Google Drive. That is also not going to be a problem. There is no prerequisite material in level 2. In level 1, we have something called prerequisite material. So there is nothing called prerequisite material in level 2, in case somebody gets confused, because of a lot of changes that have been released for 2024. But the changes pertain primarily to your level 1 curriculum. And so lectures, once the books are out, the live lectures are done, hedge fund strategies, etc. is covered. You'll be provided immediately. You don't have to worry about that. And practical skills module, I'll discuss it separately. I just want to talk about the changes part first over here, right? So this is the changes, fairly simple, fairly easy. Ignore the deleted chapters. The changes chapters also, I would suggest you to ignore, especially employee compensation. I would advise you to not do it right now and wait for me to complete. And private company valuation also not to do it right now. Financial statement modeling, if you want, you can do it. Otherwise, you can wait for me to release a new lecture. This obviously you'll have to wait for me to release, and these obviously are not going to be doing these chapters right now. So in terms of your preparation, or in terms of how you approach for the 2024 students who do not have the books yet, you can easily continue with the 2023 books. It will not be a problem. And this is all you have to do. Ignore the deleted chapters. Ignore these 2 chapters as well, the employee compensation and the private company valuation part. Financial statement modeling, you can if you want. And hedge fund strategy, you can print the chapter and do it once I've completed in the live class. And once the books are out, we'll update you again more on in terms of, mapping with respect to the book. So we match every page and we'll update the mapping and all that. And we'll inform you once the books are out. All right. So this is level 2 changes. Congratulations. You have to study a little less this time.